What investigators found in Queen Camilla's mansion will leave you shocked. The luxurious mansion of Queen Camilla, once seen as a symbol of power, elegance, and royal stability, has now become the epicenter of a global investigation that has stunned the world. When vehicles bearing the FBI's insignia appeared at the gates of the estate, the world stood in disbelief. Why would a U.S. intelligence agency be dispatched to investigate a sensitive site belonging to the British royal family? Why was the British government sidelined? And most crucially, what did they uncover inside? What has been revealed from this raid, according to sources close to the matter, is not merely strange artifacts or classified documents, but potentially evidence pointing to a chilling truth, one that challenges the steadfast image of the British monarchy itself. As light was cast into the shadowy corners beneath Queen Camilla's mansion, a new door was opened, one filled with questions, haunting mysteries, and secrets the royal family likely never wanted exposed. Under London's bone-chilling sky, where night fog cloaked the trees surrounding the royal estate, Queen Camilla's mansion lay in an eerie stillness, a haunting calm, as if every sound in the night had deliberately fallen silent to make way for something about to unfold. The clock struck 2 a.m. The gatekeeper, glancing absently at his pocket watch, his aged eyes half closed, was jolted back to alertness by a heavy sound in the distance. A convoy of black SUVs, tinted windows, and blinding headlights glided silently toward the main gate. No sirens, no noise. Just a cold beam slicing through the fog like a blade cutting into the otherwise motionless air. The heavy iron gates swung open automatically, as if an unseen hand had long awaited this moment. The agents stepped out, some in black suits, others in leather jackets, all bearing the FBI emblem on their sleeves and lapels. Moving swiftly, decisively without a word exchanged. The headlights illuminated faces as cold as steel, devoid of emotion, marked only by a singular resolve, determination, and duty. Inside, the castle's steward, a man who had served the royal family for over 30 years, froze in the main hall as a document was thrust before him, an official search warrant issued by a U.S. federal court. FBI, he gasped, his breath catching. But this is a royal residence. You can't. A tall agent cut him off, and we can and we will do what's necessary. Beneath the dazzling crystal chandeliers reflecting off the white marble floors, footsteps echoed steadily, heavily, like the beat of a funeral drum. The drawing room doors were flung open, and the agents fanned out, inspecting every drawer, every crevice, every dust-covered bookshelf. One of them quietly tapped on the wooden walls, listening for echoes, as if searching for a hollow space. A secret room no one had ever mentioned. The pendulum clock in the corner seemed to slow its ticks. The air grew taut, like a tightly strung bow. In one agent's hand, an electromagnetic scanner began emitting strange beeps as it neared the ancient fireplace. Another agent swiftly retrieved tools, dismantling the decorative bricks, and then a faint click sounded, light as a breeze, but enough to make everyone turn. A section of the wall swung gently, revealing a narrow passage just wide enough for one person. No electricity, no light, only a deep, endless void that seemed to swallow all truth. The agents exchanged glances. One switched on a flashlight and stepped in first, followed by two others. The air in the passage felt heavier, damper, with a distinct smell of old paper, leather, and something indefinable, as if time and secrets had crystallized here for decades. Back in the drawing room, the steward sank trembling into a chair, clutching his forehead. "We didn't know. I didn't know that place existed," he muttered, eyes too afraid to meet the figures moving like specters, carrying truth. On the table, a teacup still steamed, as if to prove that, just moments ago, this was still a home, before it became a crime scene. The search had only begun. But from those first steps, it was no longer just a royal matter. It was a cold reminder that no one, not even a queen, could forever hide what lay buried beneath the earth. Under the faint glow of high-powered flashlights, FBI agents continued scouring every corner of Queen Camilla's mansion, a place once thought inviolable. As a second team reached the ancient library, a young agent named Mills stumbled upon something unusual. While scanning with a surface structure device, He noticed that one bookshelf in the study produced a sound distinctly different from the adjacent walls. At first, it seemed like a hollow wall or degraded old architecture. But what they found was far more shocking than any theory. Mills signaled for the technical team to approach. After a few quick checks, they uncovered an ancient mechanism, a hidden hinge disguised by intricate wooden carvings. A clear click rang out. The bookshelf, thought to be fixed, slowly swung open like a silent door, revealing a secret passage buried deep within the mansion's stone walls. A cold draft poured out, carrying the scent of dust and mold, as if this place had gone untouched by human feet for decades. No one in the mansion, not even the veteran steward, knew of this passage's existence. They had never even heard it mentioned. The agents promptly deployed specialized lighting and ventured deeper. The passage was long and narrow, built with ancient, solid stone, no signs of renovation, as if it were a remnant of an older structure predating the current mansion. On either side, cobweb-covered portraits flickered under the light, depicting familiar royal faces but without names. After about 10 minutes, they reached a heavy iron door, handleless, secured only by a rotating lock. It took two agents and considerable force to open it. Inside, a space unfolded, not a weapons vault, not a meeting room, but a repository of hidden memories. Large wooden chests, coated in dust so thick that brushing it stirred clouds into the air, lined the room. Inside, the agents found stacks of ancient documents, personal letters, black and white photographs, and negatives preserved in copper tubes. Strangely, many photos clearly showed Princess Diana in moments never publicized, at home, pregnant, or standing beside a man who wasn't King Charles. Some letters bore the signature D, elegant handwriting, raw with emotion. Their contents, fragmented lines, heavy with feeling, many mentioning fear and a secret I cannot speak. Another agent, rummaging through a wooden box tucked under a shelf, uncovered a collection of jewelry, earrings, brooches, necklaces, none recorded in the royal public catalog. A sapphire the size of a thumbnail set in a swallow-shaped brooch, a design extinct since the late 19th century, raised a chilling question. Was this a hidden heirloom, an illicit gift, or evidence of a covert royal cover-up? Why were relics tied to Diana concealed in Camilla's mansion, the woman once seen as her fated rival in the princess's life? Who brought them here? Was it Camilla, or someone else in the royal family? And what compelled them to be buried in darkness for decades? The agents documented, photographed, and sealed each item. But clearly this was no longer an ordinary search. It had become a historical excavation, where every object, every letter, every smudged ink mark could unlock a truth that, for decades, the public had only glimpsed on the surface. And now that layer of dust was being brushed away. But with it, the shadows from the secret passage began to spread, not just within Camilla's mansion, but across the monarchy she represents. The underground passage stretched on, twisting like an ancient labyrinth, leading the FBI agents deeper into the darkest, most enigmatic part of Queen Camilla's mansion. Just when they thought they'd reached the end, a coarse woolen rug appeared underfoot. Unlike ordinary decorative carpets, this one was slightly askew, revealing an iron frame embedded in the stone floor. An agent knelt, carefully lifting it. A heavy black steel trapdoor emerged, creaking as it opened. Below, a narrow stone staircase descended into an unknown depth, leading to a tunnel none of them had anticipated. The air inside was thick, damp, tinged with the smell of rotting wood and rusted iron. The winding tunnels, carved directly into the earth, bore strange carvings on the stone walls, eye-shaped symbols, spirals, and occasionally near-faded Latin inscriptions. One agent whispered, "This feels more like a wartime bunker than part of a mansion." But what they were about to see surpassed all imagination. At the tunnel's end, a thick oak door with ancient bronze hinges opened into a small room, no lights, no windows, but brimming with meticulously preserved documents. At the center stood a heavy stone table, stacked with old newspapers. Not mainstream ones, but exclusive prints, the kind circulated only internally. Many bore bold headlines about global power players, U.S. presidents, British prime ministers, and royal leaders from the Middle East and Europe. Some articles, never published publicly, detailed secret meetings, shadow deals, and overlapping power networks no one dared acknowledge openly. But the real shock lay at the room's far end, where a heavy wooden shelf held files marked "confidential" in faded red ink. Some were sealed with wax, bearing an unrecognizable crest. The agents opened a few and almost immediately began taking notes: surveillance reports, personal statements, and photographs. Countless black and white images capturing private moments of global royals. A series of photos showed Princess Diana in intimate settings, leaving an unidentified location at midnight, exchanging letters with an unknown man, or speaking with someone labeled simply Agent X. There were images of Charles, William, and Harry at informal events, never-before-seen photos taken from a distance with specialized surveillance equipment. Some were time-stamped with GPS coordinates and cryptic codes. Beneath the stone table was a locked metal box. After some effort to crack it open, the agents found a series of old audio tapes wrapped in black velvet. Some were numbered in a system the analysts couldn't yet decode. What silenced the team was an envelope inside inscribed, "For the day truth must come. For the day the truth must be revealed." Alongside of it were carefully preserved handwritten letters, showing signs of being Diana's. Their contents were vague but mentioned surveillance, a system they cannot fight, and the risk of being eliminated if I speak out. A note attached to the tapes read, "Final conversation, must be kept safe." The agents realized they weren't just searching a mansion anymore. They were unearthing a deeper layer of royal history, where secrets, control, and fear were archived like heirlooms. The question now wasn't who hid this, but whoever dared to speak it. For what was found beneath Camilla's mansion wasn't just evidence. It was the missing pieces of a truth the world may have been forced to forget. In the hours following the shocking underground discovery at Queen Camilla's mansion, the agents' approach shifted from surprise to utmost caution. Every item was sealed, numbered, and placed in separate evidence bags. The audio tapes were transferred to specialized storage devices, while letters, documents, and photos were handled with gloves and anti-oxidation tools. A digital forensics team arrived that night, backing up every image, every handwritten line, creating dozens of encrypted copies to guard against destruction or tampering. As news of the raid leaked, international media erupted. Outlets raced to craft theories, some calling it the Watergate of the British monarchy. Now, from the sudden appearance of Diana-related documents to surveillance photos suggesting espionage, everything pointed to one thing. This wasn't just a search. It was the unraveling of a decades-long cover-up. Authorities were deeply divided. Some in British intelligence and justice systems demanded the evidence be brought to light, arguing the truth must be known to free history from controlling hands. Others, powerful figures, feared catastrophic consequences if the full contents were revealed. Secrets tied to Diana, murky ties to global elites, and unexplored clues about the 1997 Paris crash. If verified, they could shake public trust in the monarchy to its core. Buckingham Palace, the focus of all eyes, remained utterly silent. No statements, no press conferences, no sign that Queen Camilla or King Charles III would speak. That silence only fanned the flames of suspicion. Could the royals not refute it? Or were they, too, waiting to see what would be dragged out next? Though the investigation continues, no one doubts the magnitude of what's been uncovered. If the documents, tapes, and photos are proven authentic, they could rewrite part of modern royal history. Some observers even suggest that just a fraction of it going public could destabilize the British monarchy. A foundation once seen as unassailable. For now, the public can only wait for the truth, or for a new veil to be drawn to keep it hidden. Amid the shockwaves of the investigation at Queen Camilla's mansion, attention turned to a past long shrouded in ambiguity, a past rife with controversy, intricacy, and forever tied to the iconic royal love triangle, Charles, Diana, and Camilla. From the 1970s, Camilla Shan and Prince Charles sparked a romance. They were once passionate lovers, but royal protocols and societal biases forced Charles to part with her, a woman with a romantic history deemed unsuitable for a future princess. In 1973, Camilla married Officer Andrew Parker Bowles. But her bond with Charles, though interrupted, never ended. It faded, then simmered beneath a veneer of royal propriety. When Charles married Princess Diana in 1981, many thought that chapter had closed. But it had only begun a more dramatic one. Throughout his troubled marriage to Diana, Camilla remained the unnamed, faceless third person, ever present in Diana's loneliness and pain. Diana once said, "There were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That line not only seared into public memory, but laid bare the truth of a clandestine affair spanning a decade. When Diana died in 1997, the public didn't just grieve, they raged. Much of that anger fell on Camilla. To the British public and the war world, she was a symbol of betrayal, the woman who intruded and helped drive Diana to an unhappy life. For years after Diana's death, Camilla was all but erased from the media spotlight. Each mention of her name reopened an unhealed wound in the hearts of Diana's admirers. But time is a strange agent of change. In 1999, Charles and Camilla appeared publicly together for the first time. Slowly, their relationship was normalized. Though the royal family initially resisted, they eventually relented. In 2000, Charles and Camilla held a modest wedding, no parade, no grandeur, as a quiet acknowledgement that this wasn't a union universally celebrated. Camilla chose the title Duchess of Cornwall, sidestepping Princess of Wales, a title inseparable from Diana. Yet the controversy never truly faded. In 2023, after Charles's ascension, Camilla was formally named Queen Camilla, a title many still couldn't accept. To those who revered Diana, her donning that crown was the ultimate affront to the woman they called the People's Princess. Beyond that, Camilla's personal life was far from serene. Her son, Tom Parker Bowles, stirred controversy with arrogant media remarks and a cavalier attitude. Her relationship with her ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, drew scrutiny as they remained close at private events. Even past comments by Camilla on marriage, women, and aristocracy resurfaced, revealing a cold, somewhat haughty perspective, starkly opposite to Diana's warm, approachable image. All this, combined with the investigation now rocking the monarchy, prompts a question. Is Camilla truly a queen, or merely a survivor of scandals that could have ended any royal career? With documents, photos, and secret files found at her mansion raising questions about ties to Diana's death, that past is no longer just history. It's back, clearer than ever, and poses a major question for the future. Can time erase the stains on royal history? Or will a moment come when all truths must see the light, no matter who wears the crown? From a figure once branded the other woman in one of the British monarchy's most infamous tragedies, Camilla has undergone a remarkable transformation to become queen, though not in everyone's eyes. Though not in her formal recognition as Queen Camilla in 23 marked the end of years of ambiguity about her true role beside King Charles III. But this shift wasn't just ceremonial. It was a calculated, deft, and contentious reshaping of her public image. Over time, Camilla appeared more frequently in symbolic roles, supporting the king on state visits, engaging with charities, projecting a calm, experienced, and steadfastly silent persona. British media once praised her as a rock behind Charles, a constant presence who didn't steal the spotlight from the king or other royals. Yet this didn't make her beloved like Diana was. To the public, especially those who lived through the royal drama of the 90s, Camilla remains Diana's opposite. Even as queen, people showed more warmth and affection for Prince William and Princess Kate. William's young family, with 3 children and a relatable modern image, has taken the place Diana once held, the emblem of a humane, contemporary, and cherished monarchy. Camilla's role, though less prominent, is stabilizing. She aids Charles in maintaining political ties, managing media, and projecting internal unity. She helps craft a more cohesive royal image, avoiding the wounds and divisions of the past. But no matter her efforts, Diana's shadow, in public minds and royal history, lingers, a reminder that forgiveness has limits. That's why Camilla, even as queen, can't escape persistent scandals. Whenever the past is dredged up, her name resurfaces as a symbol of division. The question isn't just who Camilla is now, but who she was in the secrets the royals still strive to conceal. Can the crown she wears truly erase the blemishes in public hearts? Or does it only sharpen the contrast between her present image and old memories? Amid the unrelenting shockwaves following the FBI's raid on Raymond House, Queen Camilla's private residence, international discourse began raising uneasy questions. Why Camilla? Why the FBI, a U.S. law enforcement agency, intervening on British soil, where MI5 or Scotland Yard should hold sway? Could something be spiraling beyond the British royals' control, a hidden force compelling even Washington to act? The first theory centers on financial motives. The documents found in the secret rooms might contain evidence of offshore bank accounts, tax evasion, or opaque transactions tied to royal funds. But observers quickly noted that if it were just money, MI5 could have handled it. Something bigger, like confidential letters from past monarchs or documents that could undermine the monarchy's image, would explain the FBI's involvement. Another question looms. Who tipped them off? A former guard working in the shadows? A disgruntled royal insider? Perhaps even Prince Harry, who's publicly criticized the old system? In an era where leaks like Prince Andrew's shook Britain, a single document can become a political weapon. Could this be the opening move in a covert power struggle, with Camilla as the first link pulled into the light? Queen Camilla's response to the FBI's shocking raid was far from the composed demeanor the public knows from official events. According to leaked insider reports, Camilla was furious, unleashing her rage on her closest advisors. Shouts, frantic late-night phone calls, all painted a picture of a woman not passively facing a crisis, but perhaps confronting something all too familiar. Her fury raises questions. Was Camilla truly surprised by what was found? Or had she known, even helped conceal it? In an official statement days later, the royal office claimed the artifacts, letters, photos, and unregistered jewelry, were merely historical documents of no current value. But if so, why were they stashed in secret rooms, behind underground tunnels? The public grew more agitated as some documents directly tied to Princess Diana, the woman forever a towering shadow in Camilla's life. Was it mere coincidence, or part of a past secret Camilla fought to bury for decades? Once again, piercing questions arose, but answers remain elusive. In the thick air of suspicion post-FBI raid, one name rose from the past like an unhealed wound: Princess Diana. As documents, letters, and photos of her were found in the hidden vault beneath Queen Camilla's mansion, a place no one expected, long-dismissed conspiracy theories roared back to life. Diana's 1997 death, officially ruled an accident, is once again suspected to be a deliberate act, to silence the woman who was the monarchy's greatest thorn. What makes it chilling is a famous letter Diana wrote before her death, warning of a staged car accident to eliminate her. With the FBI uncovering similar documents, even unreleased recordings, questions mount. Could Camilla's mansion hold the darkest truths of all? Camilla's journey from vilified other woman to accepted queen is now clouded by doubt. Was she involved, or merely the keeper of critical evidence to protect Charles? The deeper the probe, the harder it is to look away from the murky link between Diana, Camilla, and a royal secret perhaps no one has fully dared to voice. The conspicuous absence of British police in the investigation underscores the FBI's role, a non-British agency, hinting the issue transcends national borders, becoming an international matter. This not only highlights the case's gravity, but raises questions about the British monarchy's stability, especially King Charles's reign. If these sensitive secrets are exposed, they could tarnish not just Charles's personal image, but weaken his authority, threatening the monarchy's existence. Debates over Charles, Camilla, and Diana's ties have put his leadership in a precarious spot. These tangled relationships paint a murky picture of his ability to lead, prompting questions about whether he can hold power moving forward. It also fuels doubts about whether Charles should remain king or yield to Prince William. The lack of response from the royals or government only stokes more suspicion, contrasting with the swift, clear reactions expected for lesser issues. This silence heightens public unease and distrust, as transparency feels ever more elusive in these sensitive times. This scandal could become one of the greatest royal controversies in history, not just for its severity, but for the secrets it hides. The big question remains unanswered. What's truly being concealed? Who's behind the investigation? And will these secrets surface as the truth begins to emerge? The role of companies and influential figures, possibly tied directly to the monarchy's future, is now at the scandal's heart. Those wielding power must face mounting pressure. We invite you to share your thoughts on the royals' response and any greater forces at play. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates.